Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network's YouTube channel. Become enlightened, have fun, and tell all your friends and family to share with everyone they know. You can find us on Facebook. Our podcasts can be found on Libsyn, iHeart, Spotify, Google Podcast, and more. Most of all, remember to go to our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for podcasts, hosts, future shows, and scheduling. We also want to welcome our international audience. Don't stop now. Enjoy the community. Subscribe today.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. Welcome to Conscious Radio Network's weekly podcast series, The Seance. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Mekas. If this is your first time tuning in, please click subscribe, like, share, comment, and follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Today, a unified man. He lost 8 years of his life from poor financial decisions that ultimately led to a mountain of debt. Poor decisions, immature grandiosity, and poor daily habits. During this time, he found himself divorced and completely out of shape. Was this mess a result of flawed character? He eventually surmounted these challenges and resolved his internal decision by unifying his mind and body, by bridging the gap between the conscious and subconscious to yield the ultra-conscious. The ultra-conscious is the unborn entity that our highest and best self that we are all being called to become, letting go of our ego control and allowing the source to through us. Our guest today is here to help people uncover that true individuality and strength to become free in spirit, no matter what the physical circumstances may be, discussing energy in his recent work, A Unified Man and Building a Nation from Within. Beaming all the way from Australia tonight, or today, let's welcome to the seance, Neil Fisher.
Yay!
Yeah.
Silence!
Right?
Hey, bro, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, brother. Pretty good. So, take us back in time a little bit of a backstory.
The backstory is simple. It all started, Paul. It's like my story is your story. It's all of our stories. It's the archetypal hero's journey.
Yep.
I mean, it's the universal narrative, you know. So, you know, anybody who has that calling within, they start when they're early. They have ambition. They go out. They try things, and they fail. And that's what happened to me. I took risks, but also I was a risky person because I didn't have control of my impulses. I was still darted and torn between, you know, pleasure seeking and actually fully submitting, you know, to the path of, self-actualization and actual self-accomplishment. And that's what happened in the end, is that all of these risks that I took eventually just backfired on me. And that's, as you just said, I found myself that a lot of us find ourselves in. We wake up one day and we're divorced, we're bankrupt, our health has gone to crap, and we don't know ourselves anymore. We realized that all of these ideas we had in our head, all of these identities, we were living in a delusion. We were high up in the ether. We weren't actually based here in on the earth itself. I mean, I say, you know, based in reality. I mean, reality is subjective, and you do create your reality. And most people, they don't actually experience true reality. But the point is, my journey is the same as your journeys, and this is necessary. That is when we cross the threshold. That is when we begin our initiation, and we begin the actual unknown, the true part, the beginning of the call of the conscious.
Yeah. And when we come into this world, we are so ambitious to just grab the world by the balls, you know, and try to experience so much at one time. But it just seems we need to pay attention. We need to be conscientious and act with some discernment. Go, wait, hold on a second. You know, we could take these risks, but we have to have some level of discernment to go, hey, you know, is not to say is it right or wrong, but is, you know, what is look ahead and look at what the possible consequences could be.
Yeah, more than that, you just have to keep your finger on the pulse. I mean, the risks I took they weren't risky. I was the
Mm-hmm.
risky one because I was making the mistakes. I wasn't on point. I didn't have a solid regime. I was still smoking shitloads of marijuana. I was still eating lots of junk food. I was
Yeah.
still drinking alcohol. I was still going to bed late and sleeping in. I was still, I had a good work ethic, but the the regimentation of that, I still had the
Yeah.
consistency, but I didn't have the focus. I wasn't there with the work. And that's the biggest thing. And that's, the whole long and short of the whole story of life is we do a big circle around the mountain, up, down, the other side, and then we get back to the exact same point that we started. And that same point is just that central seat of housing, that in the center of our skull, that seat of experiential awareness, our consciousness. And that's really the big difference. I mean, that is the determinant. I mean, my life fundamentally isn't any different than what it is now. So
Yeah.
what's different? I'm different.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you, I've been where you have. Like you said, we all go through this. I lost everything because of my choices, because of my risk, because of just being stupid, just going and
Yeah.
just jumping off that cliff. But yeah, it's cleaning up, it's understanding and moving forward and being smart about it. So,
Yeah.
so
It has to happen too. I mean, it has to
yeah,
happen. You have to have a level of pain because you have to be
mhm,
forced. You can't, even if you want to do it, there will still be a part of you. There will still be the baseline survival mechanism of the brainstem will still unconsciously be holding you back. So
mm,
all of us have to find that pain barrier that forces us through that threshold where we have no option. We have to accept the call. Otherwise, you'll always have one foot back there. You'll never fully commit until you have that downfall. Big or small, could it be, a teenager having a breakup, whatever it is, it has to happen. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Whatever degree it is. And it will keep happening. That's the big thing.
That's the thing. Yeah, it is. It's perpetual. These things happen, and they are perpetual. And these instances that happen through our life, I believe, and I'm sure you believe the same thing. It's what makes us who we are.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Life isn't a matter of belief, Paul. Life is a matter of awareness. It doesn't matter what you believe. You can believe in the tooth fairy. You can believe that you're going to live to 1,000. You can believe in the news. It doesn't matter what you believe in. What's important is what you're aware of. And these principles, these cycles, these unseen forces, the higher consciousness, the universal animating source that we all spawn from, it's a fact. It's a reality. It's the only fact, and it's the only reality. So
Yeah.
who cares about your beliefs? Are you aware? Are you aligned of what's really going on in this
Hmm.
experience that we call life?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Getting to the quantum.
Yes.
So, what is this ultra consciousness that is yielding us?
The ultra conscious is on the other side of your ego. I mean, our brains are beautiful. I mean, they're a beautiful thing, but we get too attached. So we get high up in the stars. We get high up in the cosmic, in the ether, and the informational stream. So we become aliens because we're disconnected from the earth. We don't actually live right here, right now, in this moment. We're aliens. But also, too, if all we did was use our bodies, we'd just be meatheads. We'd just be ogres, So the trick is it goes in reverse form. You have to be in touch to get to the ultra conscious, that is beyond the physical realm. You have to get the physical realm right. Our fundamental existence is the physical realm. It's our physical prowess. It's our fitness. It's our ability to traverse this three-dimensional plane called planet Earth. So you have to have a strong body. You have to have a healthy body. You have to have an energized body because it's a matter of, it's not mind over matter, it's matter over mind. We get things back to front in the paradoxes of life. I mean,
Yeah.
we have all these mental problems, all the static interference. You can't think your way out of it. You can't. You have to use your body. And it's like, imagine, a car towing another car. As you clean up your body, you start using your body, you start getting healthy, you start getting strong. Eventually, it'll just tow the mind with it. All of your
Right.
self-talk, all of the negative, all the self-doubt, all of the, the fears, all this crap will clear up and align, because the reason your brain's giving you a hard time is because it's right. I mean, you might be a loser. You probably are. And that's why I felt like crap my whole life, because I was doing things. Don't get me wrong. I was doing the things, but I still had these weaknesses like drugs, alcohol, whatever, self-doubts, internal schisms that I wasn't aware of that needed to be overcome. And when you address the body, you don't need a therapist. You need a personal trainer. And that catches up. So how does this relate to the ultra conscious? Then you get clarity. When you clean up your body, your mind starts to clean up, and then you can get that clarity. You can actually start to have some level of control and observation of your thoughts, because you're no longer in a haze all the time. You have the energy. You are right here. You're right now. Physical exercise forces that. So you can actually begin the process of separation from the mind, be able to view your thoughts and not identify with them, because we aren't our thoughts. Our thoughts, even the ones we habitually have, they're not our thoughts. We're just a receiver, and that the thought is just a thought stream that's being transmitted from the source. Thoughts, infinite intelligence, all that stuff. It's just we're just receiving it, and all we're receiving is what we're tuning into.
Yeah.
So then you can step back, and when you can step back, then you can realize I am not my thoughts, and then you can actually start to operate in this world from that seat of consciousness. Now, that is, the third step or whatever. But then beyond that is that ultra conscious. That's where you really have that awareness, and then you let go, and you're not jumping into your thoughts anymore because you can see them. It's like, imagine you're in a river, right? And there's a current flowing. That's the thought stream. There's sticks, there's logs, there's fish. There could even be turds floating by. They're all hitting you. They're all touching you. You're trying to dodge them. Oh, here comes that stick. Here comes a log. Here comes that thought. I don't want to feel that. And then it hits you and you get hurt. You got to get out of the water. When you get out of the water, you sit on the bank, then you're operating from consciousness. You can see the thought stream. You can just watch all of the sticks, all the turds, all the logs float past, because they're going to keep floating past. Don't get me wrong. It's never going to end. But the trick is that you are no longer in the water. You're no longer in the stream. So none of these thoughts, they can't touch you anymore. So you're based here. You are here now. And from there, then you can start to dig into your intuition. And the intuition is the deeper intelligence. That is the God source. That is the creator telling you what to do next, what direction to go in. Because the problem is with our rationale, as brilliant and as beautiful as it is for critical thinking and calculation and all these wonderful things, it's not based in the now, and it's not based in the quantum realm. It's based in the physical world. Rationale is in the physical world. So we want to rationally think from start to finish. We want a linear path of thought. And we get caught up in what we're going to do in next week or in 10 minutes' time, or what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
That keeps us trapped in the physical realm. Whereas the intuition, the deeper, that is based right now. Universal time. It's unclear for us and hard for us to follow that and understand, because it only ever gives us the next step and the immediate step in the immediate now, because it's so much wiser. It's not going to give you the step next week. It's not going to give you the fifth step in your process. It's only ever going to show you the next step that's immediately apparent, because that's all that relevant is. That relevant? Anything else isn't relevant. So beyond that, get that conscious observation, then you can actually start to tune into that deeper intelligence and listen to it. And from there, the final step is the releasing of the ego. And the ego wants power, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing. We're supposed to have power. If you want the answers to life, look at every other life form on this planet. What do? There is no meaning for it. It is just beautiful. They are just beautiful to exist. It doesn't need a meaning. It is just pure beauty, a miracle, miraculous, substantial, fucking amazing. The purpose of life is growth. That's what every other life form does. Look at what life itself does. It grows as big and as expansive and as influential and as powerful as it possibly can. A tree grows as tall as it can. And we're supposed to do the same. And that's why we have all these problems in our life, is because we stunt our growth. So the problem is the ego has immaturity. It has narcissism. It has all these schisms and all this crap. So we're never operating from a place of matured power. So for the ego, ultimately, it gains ultimate power by letting go. Because when you tune into that consciousness and the intuition, you understand that you're just a channel. The higher source, the universe, the ultra conscious force that animates everything, the deeper intelligence that drives everything, that's really what's going on here. You're not speaking, you're not doing the thinking, you're not even doing the acting. It's the higher power, it's God that is really is flowing through you. So the ego gains ultimate power. It gains the ability to follow God's path and be channeled by God when it lets go. That's the paradox. When the ego dies, it gains ultimate power. And that is the ultra conscious.
Wow. That is well said. Heck yeah, brother. And that seems to be the problem we have. I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. Is we are so trapped. We trap ourselves in worrying about the past and worrying about the future instead of concentrating and living in the now. What's going on now?
Right here, right now. I mean, that's all there is, ultimately. I mean, it's like this. You can't own anything in this world. You can't own anything because the earth owns us. The only thing we have true possession of is our body and our physical presence, being here. Unless it's, on your back or it's strapped to your body or you're holding it in your hand, it's not yours. Even your house. When you leave your house, you're not there anymore. It is now forfeit. You can only own or possess what you take with you. So, what do we take everywhere? We take our body, our mind, and our consciousness. So that's what's most important. And ultimately, that's all that matters. I mean, when you get to the end of your life, all that matters is your family, your loved ones, love itself. So that's where you need to start and end, because the paradox is when you let go and you lock into that higher source, that higher frequency of being in the presence, because the thing is, they call it being present. Well, what's present? God's presence. That's what you're being present with when you're in the now. And the paradox is that when you let go of all those things, all of your goals, all of your materializations that you want in this world, you end up getting them anyway, because the material world has to match the quantum frequency. It has to. It's a law. That's just what's going to happen. And above all, you're just going to glide and you're going to feel powerful and you're going to feel happy and you're going to be a great person because you don't need anything from anybody anymore. You don't need anything because you have God with you. And I'm not talking God in a religious sense. I'm talking pure animating power. You have everything you always need. And the most important thing beyond that is that once you find that place, nobody can ever take it away from you because nobody ever gave it to you. You gave it to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's inherent. It is us. Yep, man. So let's talk a little bit about your book and where they can find it, and where they can find your work.
Yeah, mate. It's on Amazon. A Unified Man, Building a Nation from Within. Or go to my website, which is www.theunifiedman.com.au, because we're in Australia. Or just look me up on Instagram. All one word, Neil, Neal, A for Apple, Fisher, Fisher. And you can just talk straight to me. We can get on a call and we can just jive like we are doing right now.
Right on. So what is this life task? Well, we kind of did talk a little bit about it, but what is this life task? And what is this ultimate objective?
The ultimate objective is to build the nation and to build the future. You and I are the nation. Every single one of us is a nation, because every single organization, every single government, every single military structure, every single hierarchy, every business, every charity, every tribe, everything anything that happens on this planet is a reflection of the systems of a single human being. The macrocosm is reflected in the microcosm. Every one of us is a sovereign power. And just quickly, it's like this. The consciousness is the leader, the president. The mind is the key to powers. It's the government. The body is the internal resources. It's all of the space that is occupied by the ruler and the state. It has, our bodies are, they're a health system. They're a transportation system. I mean, look at them. Look at all of the systems. I mean, all the infrastructure, all the bones, the organs, all these things can all be reflected in a civilization or an empire. I mean, even us, we're a one-man army. I mean, if you can't defend yourself or at least have the physical prowess to evade danger, I mean, you're doomed. You'll be conquered. You'll be conquered by another person. So the whole idea is to take full command and control of your internal territory. And that's why I call it building a nation from within. So we have to build ourselves from the inside in. We have to get that clarity and get to that consciousness, because then from there, we can build the future. And the future is a time that's different and better than now. All of us collectively, as a species, have the same objectives. We all want to feel better and we want more energy. We want to have love. We want to have wealth. We want to have, social connection. We want to have influence. We want to have family. All that crap. We all want the same things. So how do we build the future? Is we do that individually by building ourselves. And once we've built ourselves and we have self-mastery and self-control, then we do it autonomously. You don't need someone like me to show you the way. Once you've been shown, once you've been initiated through that hero's journey, you will autonomously be a beacon for the world. And then because you're doing that autonomously, we are all doing it collectively. And that's the key, because when we have our clarity back from unification, then we can unlock our genius. Every single one of us has genius. We have some unique gift. I mean, we're all very similar, more similar than we think, because we're all humans. We're all the same species and we're all animated by God. But the thing is, we've all been implanted with that unborn entity within, that specific path that is unique to us, that gift, that service that we are here to bring to the world. It could be an invention. It could be a beautiful business, a charity, a beautiful way of poetry, music, a way of thinking, something creative. Like I already said, technology. It's something that you can bring, an ingredient you can bring to the elevation of this species, because we're at a critical point in history, the most critical point in history. It's both the new dawning of a new feudal age, a new dark age, but it's also the dawn of a new an ascension for our species. I mean, there's the world machine as we know it, the global artificial intelligence control grid. It's being imposed as we see all across the planet. But the beauty is, the paradox and the beauty is, it creates more domination, but it also creates more liberation. Anybody anywhere can escape from that and not be of that, because of this global initiation that we're participating in, this elevation. So the ultimate objective: make ourselves strong, deliver our service to the world, and from there we develop our own power. We have that place where nobody can touch us. We are obeying and abiding by law that transcends all authority on this earth. We're not living no longer by the laws of man. We are living by universal laws. And that will supinate that invisible nation will be implanted across the planetscape.
Yeah. And I've heard this for, I wouldn't say decades, but at least a decade, probably longer than that. But this dawning of this new age that's coming, we're already there. We're already merging into it. Why? Because we're talking about it.
Damn sure.
That, we are consciously evolving. We're starting to grasp our value in society. We're starting to understand, our quantum selves. And what is your thought? And I get asked this all the time, and I question myself about it, and I know what your answer is going to be. But Some people are going to be like, oh, okay. Because somebody always has a better way of explaining it. As far as consciousness, do you think it's local, non-local, or both?
It's everywhere at once. Consciousness is everywhere at once. It's the same with the you'd be aware of that experiment. I forget what it is, where they shoot the electron or whatever at the
the photon,
the scattergun,
the
photon, and it turns into a wave, and it chooses depending on what you're observing. It's all energy.
Just by it being observed, it changes the outcome of the experiment.
Yeah, everything is pure consciousness. It's a mirror, it's a mirror, it's a reflection, it's a whatever. It's all things beyond things. Anything that you can point to and anything that you can label is not the thing. It's like if you go back to the Tao, the Japanese or the Chinese, all those people, they say anything that you can point to is not the Tao because it's everything and it's nothing at the same time. So consciousness is universal and beyond.
It's everything. Now, what is the meaning of life?
Oh, I said it earlier. There is no meaning. It's just a beautiful miracle. It's just beauty. And that's the thing. And that's what it ties back into being in the now, being in the presence of God, is there isn't a meaning. What is the meaning of being in the presence of God? That's just a rational mind. That's just another trap that's locking us into the lower physical dimension. So there is no meaning. There just is. There's just beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And the same, it's like, okay, even we approach presence, right? Okay, I want to be present. I want to be in the now because I want to be at peace. It's always because there's always an agenda. There's always an agenda behind it. We always want something from that instead of actually trying to bring something to the table. What are you bringing to the present? What are you bringing to this moment? And when you come to this moment, you bring God with you. You bring the ultimate force and ultimate power, holistic power. Because when you are present, you can't be an asshole. You can't be nasty. You can't do bad things. You can't even be yourself because you're not you anymore. I mean, you bring I don't know, you just bring good stuff to the world. I mean, that's what happens when we're around people that make us feel great. That's what it is. We bring energy when we're present. So that's the meaning of life. Because that's the meaning of life. There is no meaning. It's just awesome. It's just awesome.
It's a wonderful experience. Yeah. And being part of it. Be here. Be in the present.
Yeah.
Be here now.
Here. And that's the other thing. Right? We're born into this world pure. We're born expressive. You look at a child, pardon me, every single child, they're born happy. They want to play. They have laughter. They're curious. They want to learn. They want to explore. They want to travel. They want to expand and express and share. They want to connect. That's what kids do. That is the natural state of a human being. That is what we're supposed to be. It's not because they're innocent and stupid. No, that's just pure energy. That's pure creation. It's just, the civilization and the experiences we have and the lottery draw of the poker hand of life that we get dealt, the cards that we get dealt. It happens to all of us. Nobody escapes childhood unscarred, It eventually restrains us. The civilization restrains us, and then we restrain ourselves. So all that expansion, all that expression, it reverts and it goes inward. We constrict ourselves. We start to silence ourselves. We start to suffer because we're in isolation. And that's the problem, is that part of ourselves, we forget who we really are. We forget what we were born. We forget our natural state of energy, our purity. Because the other beauty is, it hasn't died. Nobody dies like that. What it is it just goes dormant. It goes dormant and it slumbers. But it's always there, but it's always speaking to us. And that's the call we feel in our chest, in our heart, and in our solar plexus, the energetic seat of our self-worth and self-expression and pride. It's always calling from here because it wants us, it's trying to lure us back. And that's when we get these disasters, or these pain points that happen in our life, because then we're forced to, awaken that strength within us, forced to go through that, painful internal odyssey of self-discovery to rediscover who we always were. And that's the whole nature of this whole game, is to get back to that purity, to get back to who you were, to really ultimately, as corny as it sounds, it's to be yourself.
Yeah. Be yourself, and
it really is.
Remember who we are.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, for those who are watching can see it, but for those who are listening, is more of a reason to watch this. What's the meaning of the symbol behind you?
Oh, it's just cool, mate. Just looks cool.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what is that? That's cool.
Yeah, it's anti-establishment. It's basically it's from a video game, right? But it's like they used to play when I was a kid, talking about childhood stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's a reflection of reality. It's like we're taught to believe that the Western world are the goodies, and everyone else are the baddies, and all this sort of crap. What you realize ultimately is that there are no goodies and there are no baddies. And the people that are trying to tell you that they're the goodies, they're the baddies. So it's a schism. What the symbol represents is the flipping of perception. We're born into this world and we're made to think that these guys are bad because that is the system that we've been conditioned and indoctrinated with. But if you have any semblance of spirit still left in you, you start to question and you start to awaken and you start to realize that these guys are trying to help. It's the hand that's feeding you that's trying to keep a hold of you.
Yeah. Wow. So before we wrap up the show, what would you like to give as a takeaway for our audience today?
Takeaway would be, you are the thing and the thing is you. You already have everything you need. You already are everything you need. You already have the power. You just don't know it and you haven't been shown it. The paradox of life is that all of the answers are within. All of it. The paradox of life and the irony is that we need someone from without to show us what's within. That's just the nature of human initiation. You need a role model, a mentor, a father figure, a shaman, a ritual elder. You need someone wise, compassionate, and patient who has been through that process to guide you through that process and initiate that process. And it's going to be painful because you have to let go of everything that you thought to be true. All those beliefs, they're all false. You're being now drawn into the world of awareness. You're becoming aware of the true nature of reality. And what are they showing you? They're showing you that source, that center of consciousness inside your skull. And the problem is we're always looking out. We're always looking out, looking for answers. We're seeking. We're constantly seeking. We can't see it because it's not out there for us to see. It's behind our eyes. That's why we can't see it. It's not out there. It's inside. We just need someone from outside to show us what's inside. And again, once you finally find that place, it can't be taken from you because no one gave it to you. It was there all along and you just gave it back to yourself. You gave your life back. You connected. You forgave yourself and you realized that there is only now. You let go of the past. The anxiety, the depression of the past and the anxiety of the future, it all evaporates because that's not real. When you realize where you are right here, right now, it's all good. It's the only place you need to be. I mean, you're alive. Feel alive.
Heck yeah. And for those who want to look more into your work, they can go to www.theunifiedman.com.au. And let's see. Yeah, it's just finding ourselves. It's being here in the now and being conscious. We got to we need that Yoda. We need that Mr. Miyagi, that teacher, that master
we're all
searching for to help us find that way. So
we need that, and that's how because I've had many masters or initiators or educators, teachers. That's how I got to where I was, because I was humble, and I was humble, realizing that I'm not the be all end all. Hell no, there's people out there that know way more than me. And then the thing is, pardon me, once you actually, pardon me, they allow you to find yourself. The thing is, you're not actually finding yourself. You're finding not yourself, but
Like
what
the
really
path.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And ultimately, the path finds you.
Yeah.
And then from
Yeah.
there, then you create yourself. And again, it comes back to the seeking. We're always seeking, looking. I have to find myself. It's already there. You've already got it. You've already found it. You just forgot.
Yeah.
Now you need to create yourself. And that's the big thing. And creation takes effort. And ultimately, at the end of the day, everything takes work. Work is worship. And that's what you have to do. You have to be willing to step up. You have to be willing to put in effort. Because if you don't, there's already a plan that's been made for you, and you ain't going to like it. Trust me.
Yep. Learn from our
But yeah.
mistakes and go with the path of the Jedi.
Damn straight.
Awesome. Brother, thank you for your time, my friend. And if you have anything else coming up that you would like to discuss and get out there, let me know. And we'll make that happen.
100%, baby. May the force be with you.
Absolutely, my brother. Namaste, my friend. And until next time, everybody, thank you for watching Conscious Radio Network. And until next time, we will see you next week.